Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another edition of This Week in the World of Football. This is episode number 250 for June 28th, 2022. I'm your host, Randy Snow. On today's show, the USFL Championship game matchup is set, and Arch Manning decides where he's going to play college football. In this week's history lesson, we tell the story of Minnesota Vikings kicker Fred Cox, the inventor of the Nerf Football. But I'm not here by myself, and across the table from me, as always, is my son Adam.
250 episodes I've been here. Goodness gracious, that's a lot of hours.
Going back
I don't
to,
expect you to know how that feels because you've only logged in 249 episodes today. So
wow, not even 30 seconds in.
Nope, I ain't gonna let that one go today. Not on this, my 250th episode. It's a big milestone for me.
Yeah, it's all about you, son. All about you. We come to you each week from the World of Football Man Cave, located right here in the center of the football world, Kalamazoo, Michigan. We're here to promote the game of football in all its many forms, past, present, and future. Our goal is to educate, inform, and entertain our listeners with the glorious buffet that is the world of football, while keeping a close eye on the rich history of the game. Thanks for checking out our podcast. We'd love to get your feedback on one of our many platforms: Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Stitcher, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and YouTube, where we post the entire audio portion of this show, as well as other selected videos. So let's begin today's show with Adam and the World of Football scoreboard.
That's right. Well, I'm going to shake up the scoreboard a little bit. I know we have our typical way of doing things, but...
Been doing it for 250 shows, and you want to mess it up now?
Well, so I try to like to keep this rule. I mean, you put the agenda together. You put a lot of work into the show, so I can't knock you too much. But we're going to start with a championship game that happened over the weekend.
Okay.
We're going to start there. We're probably going to do a little jumping around, so just stick with me here, Randy.
All right.
Or Dad, however you want to be called on the podcast.
Dad is fine.
Okay, Randy.
Randy, I don't like.
Okay, Randy.
Yeah.
All right, on Saturday, we had the CIF Champions Bowl 7. So we're going to be crowning a champion, or they crowned a champion, I should say, as the number 2 Salina Liberty defeated the number 4 seeded Omaha Beef 38-34 in Salina, Kansas. This is the first CIF title for the Liberty. Omaha was the defending champion, so to lose that game, a bit of a tough pill to swallow, but hey, close game, and that's what you like to see in your championship games.
Yeah, this game was, I believe, on YouTube live, and I admit I did not watch it, but congratulations to the Salina Liberty, as I call them.
Oh, see, I'm Salina. What are we doing?
They've been around for a few years, but they've never won a championship before. And I think last year they were a really bad team, if I remember correctly.
Maybe.
But the Omaha Beef, I mean, they've been around a long time. They've won a number of championships.
They've been in several leagues, but man, they've been a staple of that town.
Sioux Falls Storm, Sioux City Bandits, that whole area of the Midwest.
They love those teams.
Is really rich in indoor football, and good teams. Been around for a while, so unfortunately, Omaha was denied back-to-back championships this year. But congratulations, Salina Liberty, on your first CIF championship.
That's right. All right, and then we're going to move on. We're going to go to a league that set up their championship game. That's the USFL. We kind of hinted at up top. Mm-hmm. They had 2 playoff games Saturday to determine who would go on to the USFL 2022 championship game, which will be next Sunday, which yours truly and the man sitting across from me will be at, including our third co-host, who is not here, but he will be there as well.
Aaron, who's been on a total of 2 podcasts.
2 podcasts. So on Saturday, it started with the Philadelphia Stars upsetting the New Jersey Generals 19-14 in a tough game for the North Division title to go to the championship game. And with the Stars advancing, that now makes the Stars, whether this is a reboot or not, they are the only team that has now played in every single USFL title game, even back to the original incarnation.
Yeah, the 3 original seasons of the USFL back in the 80s. In 83, the Philadelphia Stars lost to the Michigan Panthers, of course. And the next year, they won the championship. I forget who they played. But then in the third year...
Wasn't it the Breakers? Or the Invaders? Might have been the
No, it
Oakland.
was the Invaders in the third year.
Okay.
And by then, the third season, they were the Baltimore Stars. They moved out of Philadelphia and went to Baltimore, but it was still the Stars. So you can't have a USFL Championship game, I guess, without the Stars being in the game. And
Apparently.
that's true this year. I was actually shocked. I totally expected New Jersey with a 9-1 record to win that game, but as you said, that's why they play the games, and Philadelphia won the game and advanced to the championship
They
game.
did what they had to do, regardless of their record. They beat the team they were supposed to beat, and they deserved that shot at the title.
Yep.
Then on Saturday night, the second of the doubleheader saw the Birmingham Stallions handle the New Orleans Breakers 31-17 for that South Division title, sending the Stallions to the championship. And the Stallions have been the best-looking team all season.
Yeah.
They were undefeated for the longest time until they had that first loss a few weeks ago.
Yep.
But, I think everybody's kind of thinking it's the Stallions' game to lose.
I think so too, but nothing's for certain.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. So that, sets up the Stars and the Stallions for the league title game next Sunday, which we will be at.
Yep.
And on top of that, the league did announce that it will look to be coming back again next season and will play their games in home markets. See, when I read that, I thought it said that they would play 2 games in their home markets, but then they would find other cities to play in as well. That's how I took it. I could be wrong.
Well, from what I read, they will be playing in home markets.
Okay, that'll be exciting. I'm curious to see where the Michigan Panthers end up here.
Is it going to be at Ford Field? Is it going to be at one of the college stadiums?
I would assume a college stadium.
like Eastern Michigan.
Bring them to Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Where the Wheels played. Yeah, bring them to Kalamazoo. I'd go watch them.
With them being in town, I think we'd be there every weekend. But no, and then they also said that they'd be looking at expansion, not next year, but maybe the year after.
Right, 2024, they're looking to possibly expand to some more teams.
Yeah, so
we shall see if that'll happen.
Stuff.
I wasn't even sure if they were going to come back next year after this year, but they did announce that they're planning to come back again next year. So we'll see. Maybe we'll get to see a few more games next year and watch the Michigan Panthers play wherever they are here in Michigan.
For sure. All right, now we're going to move on to our regularly scheduled outline. It starts off with the CFL entering Week 3, or having Week 3 this past weekend. On Thursday night, saw the Montreal Alouettes defeat the Saskatchewan Roughriders 37-13. Montreal kick returner Chandler Worthy took the opening kickoff back 88 yards for the score. It was the second fastest touchdown to open a game in CFL history with just 12 seconds off the clock.
Yeah, you didn't have to see many of the highlights to realize that was the very first thing you saw.
And that set the tone for the rest of the
Yep,
game.
It sure did.
Yep, so Worthy also returned a punt for a touchdown in the third quarter, but it was called back due to a penalty.
Yeah, that was sad.
And Montreal dominated the game from start to finish. This is their first win of the season for Montreal after an 0-2 start. Good to see them getting into the win column.
Yeah, you don't ever want to see somebody go 0-3, 0-4, 0-5. That's a tough hole to dig yourself out of. And so congratulations, Montreal, on getting your first win.
The 2-time defending champion Winnipeg Blue Bombers defeated the Hamilton Tiger Cats 26-12 on Friday. This was a rematch of last year's Grey Cup championship. Winnipeg quarterback Zach Caleros threw for 302 yards, but no touchdowns during the game, while Hamilton kicker Michael Damagala accounted for all the Tiger Cats' points with 4 field goals.
Yeah, no touchdowns for the Tiger Cats, but the kicker kept them in the game for a while. But you don't score any touchdowns, chances are you're not going to win the game. But Winnipeg did score touchdowns, but their quarterback did not throw a touchdown pass.
All right, then on Saturday, the Calgary Stampeders defeated the Edmonton Elks 30-23. Calgary quarterback Bo Levi Mitchell threw for 321 yards and a touchdown to keep the Stampeders undefeated. This was a fairly close game until about the fourth quarter, but hey, that's what you like to see in your CFL games, a nice close game that comes down to that fourth quarter.
Yeah, Edmonton has had a rough start this season.
Oh, they've had a rough couple of years.
Yeah, but they've been in every game, I think, this year so far. I don't think they were blown out by anybody. But in this game, they were holding their own until about the fourth quarter, and then it kind of got away from them. So, that's been their MO so far this year. They play well, but they just can't finish a game and get that win yet. So maybe next week.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Did they not get blown out by a team that we're about to talk about next who blew another team out?
Oh, is that who BC blew out a week or so
as
ago?
I scroll back to double check, I'm like looking at their app. The CFL app still has not updated their app with the new logos and everything.
Yeah, you must still.
Yeah, they got blown up 59-15 in week 1 by the.
My mistake.
Yeah, by the British Columbia Lions week 1, and the British Columbia Lions were at it again this week, as they blew out the Toronto Argonauts 44-3. Oh, what a sad sight for my Argonauts, as Lions quarterback Nathan Rourke completed 39 of 45 passes for 436 yards and 4 touchdowns, which is a ridiculous stat line considering we barely ever talk about a quarterback in the CFL getting to 300 yards, and this dude got to 430 passing yards.
Yep.
And 4 touchdowns. Al Bundy would be proud. He set a new CFL single-game record for yards passing by a Canadian-born quarterback, so kudos to him. It was the first loss for Toronto this season. I mean, they only played one other game.
Right.
While British Columbia remains undefeated. You consider these the best highlights of the week, even though it was a blowout.
Yes, it was a blowout, but this highlight package on the CFL website was awesome. I mean, there were some great plays by both defenses. Maybe not so much the Toronto offense, but their defense had some great plays, hard-hitting plays and sacks and interceptions, and oh my gosh. This was the best highlight package. I watched all 4 highlight packages for this week, and this was by far the best set of highlights. So, yeah, go to cfl.ca and check out the highlights from all 4 of last week's games.
All right, well, then on bye this week, the Ottawa Red Blacks, and they will host British Columbia next Thursday to start off week 4. All right, then we're going to quickly go through the CFL standings 3 weeks in. In the East, the Toronto Argonauts sit at the top with a 500 record of 1-1.
Hey, they're in first place.
Followed by the 1-2 Montreal Alouettes, and then the 0-2 Ottawa Red Blacks in third place, and in fourth place, the 0-3 Hamilton Tiger Cats. That East Division is not looking great.
It seems like it's that way year in and year out.
Yeah, they're kind of the child you don't like talking about.
Yeah.
But then in the West, you got 3 undefeated teams at the top. 2 of them are 3-0, and that would be the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the Calgary Stampeders, followed by the 2-0 British Columbia Lions. Then in fourth place with a 2-1 record, the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And in last place, the one team they don't like to talk about over in that division right now, the Edmonton Elks, who I'm hoping get things turned around soon.
Yeah, when I was watching their highlights, they were wearing the double E helmet that they've worn for many years when they were the Eskimos.
Yeah, I think they've worn that all season so far.
Right, but I mean that's the first time I've really watched the highlights and whatnot. And you talked about the logo that they came up with, which was the 2 elk horns that kind of shape a football or something like that.
Yeah, that's like on the sleeves.
Yeah, well, it's down the side of the pants.
And the side of the pants,
on the uniform this week. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, when they announced those uniforms, I pointed that out.
Well, I hadn't seen them on the field yet.
So you're not a big uniform junkie like me. I was looking at all the pictures of.
But I thought that was pretty cool looking. So
I think it's a nice, sharp-looking uniform, a nice kind of blending of past and present for the Elks franchise. All right, moving on, we had several games in the Indoor Football League. It was Week 16 there. Starting with Friday night, the Quad City Steamwheelers defeated the Vegas Nighthawks 57-56. What a close game that ended up being. Then we had 5 games on Saturday, the first of which saw the Frisco Fighters pretty much handle the Green Bay Blizzard 50-27. The Iowa Barnstormers got by the Bismarck Bucks 49-30. The Massachusetts Pirates, the defending IFL champions, defeated the Sioux Falls Storm 69-55. The Northern Arizona Wranglers defeated the Duke City Gladiators by 8 points in a 49-41 win. And then the Arizona Rattlers defeated their other interstate rival, the Tucson Sugar Skulls, by 30 points, 54-24. And then on bye this week, the San Diego Strike Force and the Bay Area Panthers, which is probably good because those are the 2 worst teams in the league.
Yep.
So don't need to add any more losses to those records. And speaking of, we're going to start with the east side of the standings, where the Frisco Fighters sit at the top of that division at 12-2, followed by the defending champions at 9-4. The Quad City Steamwheelers in third place there with an 8-6 record. At 7-6 sit the Iowa Barnstormers, followed by the 7-7 Sioux Falls Storm. The 6-9 Green Bay Blizzard, and then the 3-12 Bismarck Bucks round out that division. On the west side of things, the Northern Arizona Wranglers lead the West with an 11-2 record, followed by the 11-3 Arizona Rattlers.
Only back by a half a game.
And then the Tucson Sugar Skulls, the third team of that Arizona trifecta at the top of that division, sit at 7-6.
Yeah, but they're kind of slipping fast.
And better watch their backs because the Duke City Gladiators are right behind them with a 6-8 record. The Vegas Nighthawks at 5-8. the San Diego Strike Force at 3-10, and the Bay Area Panthers at 1-12. And with that, we're going to throw it over to Randy for the National Arena League scores.
Okay. It was Week 10 in the National Arena League. They had one game Friday, one game Saturday, and one game on Sunday. In the Friday night game, it was the Jacksonville Sharks over the Orlando Predators, 56-28. On Saturday, it was the San Antonio Gunslingers over the Carolina Cobras, 61-60 in overtime.
How about them Gunslingers?
I'd say that was the game of the week.
How about them Gunslingers after starting 0-5 have now won 3 straight games?
Yep.
Watch out for them.
Yep. And in the last game on Sunday, it was the Albany Empire over the Columbus Lions, 67-48. A quick look at the NAL standings has the Carolina Cobras in the top spot with a 7-3 record, Albany Empire at 5-4, Jacksonville Sharks at 5-5, Columbus Lions at 4-4, San Antonio Gunslingers at 3-5. Again, like you said, after an 0-5 start, they've won 3 in a row, and they move up to 5th place out of the cellar, where the Orlando Predators are now located with a 3-6 record.
Wow.
So, yeah, San Antonio's kind of moving up the charts after a really bad start. So We'll see how long their winning streak can continue. And that's it for this week's World of Football scoreboard.
All right.
Kind of winding down with the all the different the indoor leagues are kind of coming to an end. I think the the National Arena League. I think they have. Or is it the IFL? One of them has like 3 weeks left in their schedule.
Probably the IFL. I mean, they're what week? What did we say? Week 14?
They are week 16.
Week
yes.
16. So,
and they've still got 3 weeks to go.
Yeah, so they'll be wrapping up soon. And I'm not sure how many weeks left are in the NAL season, but
I haven't looked that far ahead.
They aren't too much longer either. And the USFL wrapping up next week, so we'll pretty much just be talking about the CFL at some point here.
That's fine by me. I love the CFL. All right, in some NFL news, one thing I forgot to write down, which I've made a note here, a hearing is going on kind of as we speak for Deshaun Watson to see how long or if he's going to be suspended by the NFL. Some of the rumors that I've heard said he could be out for a year, possibly. I've also heard indefinitely, but indefinitely doesn't always mean indefinitely. It just means until we figure out what the heck's going on.
Who knows? Apparently, it's they're going with a third-party arbitrator. I don't know how much sway this person will have in the final decision, or if Roger Goodell still kind of has that final say, like, "Oh, you think we should do a year? Well, I'll say 5 games." Something weird like that could happen.
Yeah.
So. Who knows? Well, we may or may not get an answer. I guess it just depends on this arbitrator. It could take them a day or two. Mm-hmm. They could request to see some more documents or hear more stuff from both sides. So this could be, another week before we really know anything, or could be tomorrow. Who knows?
Yeah, and he had 24 women.
At one point it was 24. Didn't it get up to 26?
Well, I don't know, but
or did it go from 22 to 24?
It was definitely 24.
Yeah.
And he settled 20 of them.
Yeah.
But I don't think the league is too impressed with that.
No.
So it's hard to say what's going to happen with this. We'll just have to keep an eye on it. And I saw a rumor. It was probably just somebody throwing that out there that Baker Mayfield had been traded to somebody the other day, but obviously that didn't.
Yeah, nothing's official yet. There's 2 teams that are vying for him apparently, but.
I don't think anything is going to happen until they find out what's going on.
I don't know. I think the Browns are just waiting for a good deal on him. So hard to say. They were ready to part ways with him, regardless of what happens with Deshaun. So we'll see what happens with that whole situation. We had another breaking thing earlier, not on the rundown. Before we get to your actual rundown,
okay,
and that's the Commanders' wide receiver Terry McLaurin. Agrees to a 3-year contract extension that is worth up to $70 million. He's a great young receiver there. I know you probably don't know or am familiar with him too much there in Washington.
No.
I'm sure a lot of people aren't with him playing in Washington. If you played fantasy, he might have helped your team out. Not that he helped my team, because I definitely think he helped the buddy's team. But he's a good young receiver. I've watched some highlights of him. I mean, he's probably the best player on that Washington squad, not going to lie, besides maybe Chase Young. So, yeah, locking that dude down, locking down a good young wide receiver for that amount of money is probably a good call for right now, especially when wide receivers are going left and right in the league at a big old premium. They're gathering in these ungodly contracts for, talented wide receivers. Like, look what Devontae Adams pulled in. And if you think this kid could be that level someday, you're getting him for a bargain right now. So, yeah, so good for him. Get your money, get paid, guys. That's what it's all about.
And didn't I see that their owner, Daniel Snyder, is refusing to appear before Congress?
That's a whole other can of worms. This whole Congress thing with the Washington Commanders.
Yeah, looking into their culture of, what do they call it? Something culture,
See, this is something that you normally have us stray away from. That's why I'm surprised you even brought it up.
I know, but as long as we were talking about the Commanders, I figured I'd throw that in there too.
I know Roger Goodell testified. That's all I know about that situation out there. I haven't really paid too much attention to it.
Yeah, Commanders might want to hang on to some of their money instead of giving it to players because they may need it for legal defenses.
I think their salary cap money is a different allotment, but
yeah.
maybe that's what got them into trouble in the first place.
Pot. Yeah, okay.
Actually, no, what was it? It was the revenue sharing that they were getting in trouble for?
Oh, yeah. Oh my God! There's so many things going on.
There's so many things with that organization. So
yeah. Okay, I'm done talking about this.
All right.
Let's move on to something fun. Hey, did you hear that Adrian Peterson and Le'Veon Bell are going to square off in an exhibition boxing match on July 30th?
I actually did hear about this, and I'm not going to lie, I don't care. I think they were both great NFL players. Adrian Peterson obviously played with the Lions for a year. Yep. I thought he actually was okay with the Lions, not my favorite, but I thought he did all right. But Le'Veon Bell was a heck of a player before he held out and didn't really amount to much after he did that big, holdout. And yeah, so hindsight's 2020. I guess probably shouldn't have held out, but hey, whatever. It's it's a publicity thing. It's a exhibition boxing match. I mean, who knows? Maybe some NFL fans, maybe Vikings fans and Steelers fans will get together and watch this on whatever platform it's going to be on.
All I know is what I just told you. I read this little article and it didn't have a whole lot of information. It didn't say where it was going to be. I don't know if it's Atlantic City, if it's Las Vegas, if it's someplace else. I have no idea. Unless I hear some more, that's all I know right now.
Yeah, and as you deem this fight, the we know our careers is over bout. So,
well, that's kind of what the article was saying. Is that obviously both of their NFL careers are over with, and their boxing careers are about to begin.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, Adrian Peterson, he's pushing, isn't he? Like, 36?
He was
37?
old to be playing in the NFL still. Yeah. So now he's going to jump in a boxing ring. Who does he think he is? Herschel Walker? Come on.
And Le'Veon Bell, I mean, he's youngish too. He's probably around 28 to 30, somewhere in there. Yeah. I'm not sure their exact ages, but they're around my age. And I'm telling you what, I don't want to go out and box. I mean, and they're in good condition. I can't imagine the kind of shape their bodies are in. Like after playing football for so many years, now you want to turn around and just go punching people? I don't know about that.
Yeah. Okay, another thing that I ran across today, as a matter of fact, and I've been hearing about this league for a while, Major League Football. It's been talked about for years. It was always going to be another spring league that was going to, offer basically the same thing that the XFL and the USFL are offering. A chance for players to get some more playing time in, get seen by coaches and scouts and this and that. And because of COVID and everything, everything's been pushed back. So I never really paid too much attention. Well, now all of a sudden, I'm seeing that the Major League Football is going to start their season on Tuesday, August 9th, which is a weird day to start your league on. But looking at their website, which is older than dirt.
Oh, man, you pointed me in the direction of this site, and I was looking at it. It does look like it's from the early 2000s.
Yeah, they list a couple dozen teams around the country in different divisions. Oh, we're going to have teams here. We're going to have teams
or 24 cities. Yeah.
Yeah, and but nowhere on there was a schedule for this year. Their website's
not even updated.
Totally outdated. I could not find anything
other than
anywhere.
The main page where it does say something about 2022 starting up. But everything else is 2019, so they've only updated this front page.
Well, they have a Twitter account, and that's where I'm getting this information from, is that they're going to have 4 teams this year to start everything out. They're going to have the Ohio Force, the Alabama Airborne, the Arkansas Attack, and the Virginia Armada. And the thing that caught my eye was that the Ohio Force is going to be playing in Canton at the Pro Football Hall of Fame Stadium.
Hey, where we will be on Sunday.
That's right.
Maybe we'll have to go take an Ohio Force game now.
Well, we'll see about that. But, they're going to have 4 teams. They're going to start on the 9th. Jerry Glanville is going to be one of the coaches of one of the teams. I don't know which one. And like I said, I couldn't find much more than that. So will we have more information on this next week? Who knows? If they make things easy for us to follow them, we'll give you some updates, maybe some scores here and there. But otherwise, this might be the only time that we talk about Major League Football for quite some time. All right, moving on to some college news. This was interesting. Ohio State University has successfully trademarked the word "the."
Oh, God.
They began the trademark process back in August of 2019, so it's been 3 years. And basically, they're going to use it on clothing and apparel. So you're just going to see a shirt with the word "the" on it.
And scarlet and silver, whatever.
Team colors.
Scarlet and gray, whatever the dumb colors are. Yeah, I don't care. Way to be big losers there, Ohio State. Let's trademark a word that a lot of universities use. The University of Michigan.
Well,
Michigan State University doesn't use the. But come on,
when you see them on like
the Citadel,
Monday
the
night.
poor Citadel can't even use the anymore on their T-shirts.
No, that's not. They don't own the word "the." They've just trademarked it for apparel usage. That's what the article said that I read, is that they do not own the word "the."
That may be what that says.
They can't stop anybody from using it.
But you have to read between the lines, Randy, as a journalist, and all this is showing to me is Ohio State's being a bunch of buttholes saying, we're taking "the" from everybody, especially the Citadel.
Well, when
the Citadel.
When all of their players, on Monday Night Football or whatever, when they show their face and they say what college they came from, it's always the Ohio State University. And so that's the whole reason they decided to trademark the word "the" or "the" actually.
Oh God! I
So
don't
anyway,
care.
that's official. They
I
showed
don't
a
care.
certificate.
When I see that first "the" shirt or "the" shirt out in the wild, I'm just gonna boo them.
Well, when Michigan beats them again this year, what's
Whoa,
going to happen?
okay, whoa,
they're gonna call them the losers from
man.
Columbus.
That's a big boy, Randy. You really, for a guy who's not a Michigan fan, like that was some.
I know, but I don't like Ohio State.
I don't
more.
either, but I'm not gonna sit here and say Michigan's gonna beat them. God, Michigan
just throwing
fans.
that out there.
I mean, Michigan fans are cocky enough. I mean, you're not even a Michigan fan. You're being cocky about beating
not
Ohio
totally.
State.
I'm a Michigan fan when they play Ohio State.
I like
can
all
tell you
Michigan
that.
colleges. I'll always stand by that. Western Michigan will probably be my favorite college team to root for, but I will always root for the Michigan schools. Michigan State, University of Michigan, Central. Depending on who they play against each other. If they play against each other, then you got to pick a side. But or just give me a good game. That's usually my
always
answer to that.
Kalamazoo, always the Broncos, Western Michigan. Okay,
We will reign.
In another bit of college news, Arch Manning, the son of Cooper, has committed to the University of Texas.
See, he needs a big long name like in Game of Thrones. Arch Manning, son of Cooper, grandson of Arch, thrower of touchdowns. And...
Well, every article that I started reading about this, it always said Arch Manning, the nephew of Eli and Peyton, and it's like, doesn't his father have something to do with that? I mean, just because his father wasn't an NFL, Super Bowl winning champion, why can't you mention his father's name?
Yeah, star of Dad's favorite
Cooper
commercials
Man.
where Cooper, what is it? Not Draft. Is it DraftKings? No, Caesar's Sportsbook commercials. Dad's
He's my
favorite commercials. Where Cooper Manning is Randy's favorite.
When Caesar says, even Cooper, he's my favorite. I love that.
Yeah, every time we're watching a stinking game and that comes on, he loses it. But no, so like good for the University of Texas. I'm going to give him that right now, and good for Cooper for Arch not picking his granddad and uncle's school for going to Tennessee where Peyton went, making his own path, picking a school that actually hasn't amounted to anything recently, and maybe just maybe Arch could be that. Proven like, hey, I'm going to go to Texas, and we're going to go out, and we're going to be the most competitive Texas has been in probably since when Vince Young was quarterback at Texas, back when they went to the national championship. I can't remember the last time Texas was really. Ricky Williams was even before Vince Young. But like the last time I thought of Texas as a viable, just scary football team was when they played against USC in that was it the Rose Bowl national championship game they did? One of the greatest college football games I've ever watched in my life. Texas hasn't amounted to much ever since then, but you always hear hook 'em horns, and they got their own network.
Yep, they have a great
history, but they haven't amounted to anything. So Arch going there, I think, says a lot, where he skipped over Alabama, he skipped over Georgia and LSU and Clemson and Virginia, all these other schools that probably would be better fits for him, probably would get him immediate success, but if you're a Manning like Arch and you want to be able to set your own legacy and not just be like, I was a product of a Nick Saban system or whatever, go to Texas and prove like, hey, I elevated this program. Like, so good for him. But I also want to throw out there, did you see Peyton Manning attending, I forget, some baseball game in the conference probably the SEC conference there, and at the Ole Miss baseball game, and on the screen it showed Peyton sitting in the stands, and it said Eli's little brother or big brother or something like that. They didn't even say Peyton's name.
Yeah, they worded it in such a way that.
It was funny.
Yeah, I did see that. I don't remember exactly how it was worded, but yeah, that was funny because
we never talked about that, but I thought it was funny.
Yeah, they made fun of the fact that Peyton was there, and all they worried about was Eli. That's who they.
Yeah, I don't even think they had Peyton on the screen. It just said Eli's brother.
Yeah.
Which is good.
But I really thought that Arch Manning was going to go with either Georgia or Alabama myself.
See,
they're the top two teams in the country.
They were, but I really thought that maybe he would at least consider going to Ole Miss where his granddad and uncle went. I thought that was definitely on the table, especially didn't Ole Miss just got a coach too, didn't they? Don't they have oh gosh, what's his name? He coached with Florida Atlantic. That he was like a disciple of Nick Saban for a while there.
I don't know.
Oh God, and he was in the NFL. I can picture his face. I can't remember his name, but that's gonna kill me. I'm gonna look it up real quick. But go ahead.
But no, I like I said, I really thought he was going to go to either Alabama or Georgia, and I know that he went at least to Alabama and actually had a workout day, and they had pictures of him in a jersey. So that's kind of hard to turn down when they roll out the red carpet, for you like that.
Lane Kiffin is the name I was blanking on. Yeah, Lane Kiffin. Good Lord. I thought for sure with Lane Kiffin there that would be very appealing to Arch.
But as far as going to Ole Miss, I mean, he probably saw how his Uncle Eli had a tough time being in the shadow of his dad, Archie, who went there to college. And so why would he want to go there and have two other, legends from that school that he had to be compared to? Oh, you're not as good as your uncle, and you're not as good as your
it probably doesn't matter what school he goes to. He's always gonna get compared to his uncles and his grandfather.
I think it was smart that he went, someplace other
maybe,
than
but
Tennessee.
I think I would have been really interested if he would have went to Ole Miss, because to have three, say everything goes exactly the way we think it'll probably go, which is great career there, maybe win a national championship or at least sniff the playoffs or something, be a top team for a couple of years. Then he number 1 overall draft pick. You kidding me? To have that kind of legacy on top of now, Ole Miss has got 3 Mannings that had 3 great careers there and got drafted into the NFL. Mm-hmm. That would be crazy. But like I said, I also get going to Texas and doing this other route, which is I'm going to elevate this program. And I'm very excited to see what. I'm not even a Texas fan, but I'll be pulling for Arch Manning.
Oh yeah,
I think everybody's going to be pulling for a Manning.
If he's going to be on TV, I'm going to watch. But the talk was that he might be redshirted his first year, just so he can kind of get slowly into the program and all that.
Oh, who are we kidding? They're going to throw him in day 1.
I don't know about that.
I'll take money on that. What are the odds? I'll go to FanDuel right now. Not a sponsor. What are the odds?
Yeah,
I put down $10. What? I could lose 10? Okay, never mind.
All right, let's move on from here. A little bit of high school news, and this is another subject that we kind of don't get into very much, but I wanted to at least make mention of this.
Just quickly get by this. I don't even want to talk about this.
The Supreme Court voted 6-3 in favor of a Washington State high school football coach by the name of Joseph Kennedy, who was fired for praying with his team after football games. So they basically said that he was doing nothing wrong, because the school was trying to say, you got to keep religion and school separate. But the Supreme Court said that, it was after the game, it was on his own time, middle of the field, whatever. And I see nothing wrong with it, because you see NFL players gathering at the middle of the field after a game to thank God that nobody got hurt during the game.
Right.
Or to pray for somebody that did get hurt during the game.
This happens all across the country. I mean, we've seen our local high schools, like teams do that. Sure. They huddle up. But I think the scary thing about this, and I think the issue that they brought up to the Supreme Court wasn't the issue that they ended up solving. I don't think it's an issue of we have a problem with him praying. It was, I know I read a lot of parents and players felt pressured into, well, if I don't join his prayer circle, I could lose playing time. Like, which that part isn't right. I'm all for freedom of speech, freedom of religion, all that good stuff. But there's a line where it's like you got to separate religion from, your politics and from your sports. And unfortunately, and I know we're not here to talk about this, but with this country right now, that line is starting to get bled where I thought it was separated for a while. Now it's going back the other way, and I don't like what I'm seeing. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. No, I personally don't have a problem with a quick prayer at the end of a
No.
game. If you don't want to participate in it,
there should be no ramifications.
You head to the locker room, or you go kiss your cheerleader girlfriend and head for the locker room.
But if there was proof that a coach,
that would not be right.
That's
to hold it against
that's what
somebody
sits wrong with me. And the fact that players feel scared like that, like I could lose my playing time because I didn't join that. That's wrong. That should not be how that happens. And if that ever came out, I'd be really upset. I'm not saying that is what's happening. That's just what I read. We weren't there. We don't know.
Right.
Nobody listening to this knows either. So you might have similar experiences, but we're living in some really tumultuous times right now, dealing with a lot of this stuff where you would think the simple, just be a good person. Just, hey, let everybody, pray and do whatever they feel like they need to do, as long as they're not pressuring or putting it on anybody else.
Right.
Who cares?
Yep.
Like, let them do their thing. Same with a lot of the other, the big issue that happened with the Supreme Court. Like, I just don't get. So I just don't understand. Me personally, philosophically, the way I live my life is, look, man, like, you get to do what you feel like you need to do that makes you comfortable within a line. Don't be a criminal, don't be a murderer. But up to that point, like, who cares? It's your business. Like, my beliefs shouldn't dictate what you do. Your beliefs don't dictate what I do. So why can't we all just move on and call it a day? But for some reason, they don't see it that way, and I'm not happy about it.
Okay, nice monologue for somebody that didn't want to talk about this.
I know, you got me going. This is why we don't put politics in our football podcast.
No, we normally don't. But I just wanted to mention that they did vote in favor of the coach.
Now let's talk about our trade disputes with China. Now,
shut up. All right, moving on. Arena Football TV on YouTube, they posted another game the other day. This one is from 1997. It's the Nashville Cats versus the New Jersey Red Dogs. And this was on Fox Sports South. I don't know if that's still around.
It's probably evolved. Since then.
Everything is just, they've got the
Bally
FS1 and FS2 that may have done away with.
I know our Fox Sports Detroit got turned into Bally Sports.
Yeah, I don't know if it's still around, but I just thought that was strange when I saw the logo on there.
And the New Jersey Red Dogs, one of my favorite arena football just logos and team names probably ever.
They were only around, I think, for 4 years.
A couple of years before they turned into the Gladiators.
Right. But this particular game in '97 was their first season in the Arena Football League, and their head coach was John Huffnagel, who was inducted into the Canadian Football Hall of Fame back in 2020. He was the head coach of the Calgary Stampeders from 2008 to 2015. The Red Dogs became known as the New Jersey Gladiators in 2001. And then they moved to Las Vegas, where they became the Las Vegas Gladiators in 2003. And finally, they moved to Cleveland and became the Cleveland Gladiators in 2008. And we have seen many games of the Cleveland Gladiators over the years.
And I've always dug that Gladiators logo, that Gladiators helmet.
Had some great fans in Cleveland.
Great fans in Cleveland.
Town loved that.
Clint Dolezal, our favorite arena football quarterback, played for the Gladiators at one point.
When they were in Las Vegas,
When they were in Vegas, so.
Yep. And our former coach... from the Rampage, Steve Tunn was the coach of the Gladiators for some time, and then his assistant coach became the head coach there also. So
Selinsky? Or am I thinking of a different?
Ron Selinsky.
Yes,
yep. Selinsky. Yep. So they were both.
I know some
Rapids.
things.
They both went on to the Las Vegas Cleveland Gladiators. So but many great memories of the Cleveland Gladiators over there. 4 hours there and 4 hours back. We'd make it all in one evening, and which is kind of like what we're going to do with the USFL Championship game this Sunday night, where we're going to drive there and see a game and then come home.
And we will have loads of content. We'll probably talk about it quite a bit next week on the show. Yep. And the plan is to get some video of our road trip, so it might be a nice travel log test grounds for us.
Yeah. If nothing else, we'll post some pictures from the game and let everybody know.
Are you going to be okay with a GoPro camera staring you in the face as you drive?
We'll see.
Because I think I can mount it on your windshield and have it pointed right at you for the whole drive.
Well, we'll see. We shall see. All right, today's birthdays, June 28th. Today is the birthday of John Elway, who turns 62 years old today. He played his college football at Stanford and was the first overall pick in the 1983 NFL Draft by the Baltimore Colts. But then he threw a hissy fit, didn't want to go to Baltimore, and threatened to go play Major League Baseball because I guess he was a pretty good baseball player at the time. So they wound up trading him that very same day, I think, to the Denver Broncos. And he had a 16-year career in Denver between 1983 and 1998. He won 2 Super Bowls as a player late in his career.
Those last 2 seasons, what a way to go out.
Yeah, and one more Super Bowl as an executive GM of the team in 2015. He was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2004, and he was also an owner of the Colorado Crush of the Arena Football League. So we're bringing this all back together. There's some great videos of him and John Bon Jovi doing some promotional videos because Bon Jovi was
those
with
are some
the
great
Philadelphia
classic
Soul,
commercials.
and he was with the Colorado Crush. Elway was. Yeah, there's a rumble in the house. That was the song and the video advertising the upcoming season, where they basically play a arena game in Bon Jovi's house and destroy everything, and it was hilarious.
It's one of the best commercials the Arena League's ever had.
Yeah, look that up on YouTube. Rumble in the House, AFL with Bon Jovi.
Have you reposted that already, saying happy birthday?
No,
Mr.
I have
Elway?
not. I should have.
There you go.
Maybe I'll do that
well,
later.
it's a good thing it's only 3:54 in the afternoon here in Michigan.
And another birthday today, Jim Foster, the inventor of arena football, creator. I'm not exactly positive what year he was born. I know his birthday is June 28th, but I believe he's 72 years old today.
You believe? Okay, I was like, should I do the math for you?
Well, I don't know for sure. I heard that he was born in 1950, but I couldn't confirm that. Yeah, I'm sorry, Mr. Foster, if you're listening. Give me a call and let me know if I'm correct or not, whether you're 72 today or
not. What a ploy to just get a phone call from the creator of the Arena Football League. Way to go.
Hey, he and I are colleagues on LinkedIn, but I didn't send him a message.
Oh, whoop-de-stinkin'-do.
Let's see. He was the creator of Arena Football. He worked in NFL marketing when he got the idea for Arena Football back in 1981. He also worked for the USFL in the 1980s. The first season of the Arena Football League, I have it written down that it was 86. Wasn't it 87?
What, was the first game?
The first season.
It was 87, I believe.
Okay. He was also the owner of the Iowa Barnstormers of the Arena Football League, and the Quad City Steamwheelers of AF2, which was their developmental league. So happy birthday today to John Elway and Jim Foster.
All right, and then I wanted to throw one thing out. We talked earlier about Terry McLaurin's extension with the Commanders.
Okay.
Well, 11 minutes ago, it came out that it includes a $53.15 million guaranteed amount of money and a $28 million signing bonus. So the dude is making money.
I guess.
So, hey, good for him. Get paid.
Yep.
Get paid, young dudes.
Yep.
You can't play in the league forever, unfortunately, unless your name is Tom Brady and you sold your soul to the devil and or are dating a supermodel who's got more Instagram followers than you do.
Okay. All right. Moving on to a few obituaries. There were a ton of obituaries this past week, but we're going to highlight
after having
4
none last week?
Yeah, there were none last week, and then all of a sudden, right after our show last week, obituary after obituary I kept finding. So we're going to highlight 4 of them today. And this is where we take a moment to honor those who've made the world of football a better place. The first one is that of Marlon Briscoe, the first modern-day black starting quarterback in the NFL. He's passed away at the age of 76. Briscoe played quarterback in college at the University of Nebraska-Omaha, where he earned the nickname The Magician because of his running style. He was selected in the 14th round of the 1968 combined NFL-AFL draft by the Denver Broncos, who switched him to playing defensive back. However, during his rookie season, he was pressed into service as a quarterback. He started 5 games and posted a 2-3 record. Briscoe was the runner-up for the AFL Rookie of the Year award in 1968. He was released by the Broncos after that season, and he signed with the Buffalo Bills, where he played wide receiver from 1969 to 1971. He was then traded to the Miami Dolphins, where he played from 1972 to 1974 and won 2 Super Bowls. Briscoe was a member of the 1972 Dolphins undefeated team. He went on to play for the Detroit Lions and the San Diego Chargers in 1975, and he finished his playing career with the New England Patriots in 1976. Briscoe was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame in 2016.
All right, our next obituary is that of Jalen Ferguson, a defensive end in the NFL for 3 seasons, and has passed away at the young age of 26.
Wow.
The cause of death is still not immediately known. He played college football at Louisiana Tech, where he earned the nickname Sack Daddy, one of the best nicknames you're going to hear.
That's a cool nickname.
A lot of cool nicknames. I mean, The Magician and now Sack Daddy.
Yep.
He holds the FBS record for career sacks with 45.
Wow.
Ferguson was selected in the 3rd round of the 2019 NFL Draft by the Baltimore Ravens and played for the team from 2019 to 2021. Tragic to hear of a young guy.
Yeah, they just said they found him dead in his apartment too soon to determine the cause of death. They don't think foul play was involved, so it's hard to say. We'll just have to wait and see what they have to say in the coming weeks and days. All right, next, Tony Saragusa, a defensive lineman in the NFL for 12 seasons, has passed away at the age of 55. That's pretty young also.
That's still young, yeah.
Saragusa played college football at Pittsburgh and signed as a free agent with the Indianapolis Colts, where he played from 1990 to 1996. He also played for the Baltimore Ravens from 1997 to 2001. He won Super Bowl 35 as a member of the Ravens team. After his playing career was over, Saragusa was a sideline reporter for Fox Sports from 2003 to 2015. I didn't realize he stopped being a reporter in 2015. I thought he was still doing it.
He was there for a long time, and I knew he stopped at some point. But, man, I didn't realize it was that long he did it.
Yeah. He also had some acting roles. He appeared in The Sopranos TV show, and he was in a Spike Lee movie called The 25th Hour. He was also the host of a home renovation show called Man Caves from 2007 to 2016 on the DIY Network. Now, I remember seeing that show.
Yeah, I remember
they
that show.
They would go to somebody's house, and whether it was football themed or if the guy was into NASCAR or something like that, they would go into his house and he had a crew with him, and they would just redecorate his man cave and whatever he liked, and he did a lot of the projects too. I mean, he was in there, he building special things, and it seemed like a pretty neat show. I didn't watch a whole lot of them, but I was aware of the show. I didn't realize it was on for like 14 years.
Yeah. I mean, I remember him playing in the NFL. I remember him getting that Super Bowl ring with the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he became a broadcaster, I remember him kind of getting in, was it not really a spat, but he was definitely like one week was talking smack about Joey Harrington, the young quarterback for the Detroit Lions.
Yep.
And then Joey Harrington, like that week, turned around and put out one of his best games. And I think I remember Saragusa eating his words, and then we all know what happened to Joey Harrington after that. But, I mean, I just remember that vividly as Saragusa on my TV screen.
Yeah. And I remember him as a player with the Ravens, and I totally forgot that he was with the Colts for several years.
Yeah, that I will never ever think of him as a Colt. I'll always think of him as a Raven.
Yep, always be associated with the Ravens in my mind. All right, one more.
Okay, and our last obituary of the day is that of Hugh Mcilhenny, a halfback in the NFL for 13 seasons, has passed away at the age of 94. Mcilhenny played college football at Washington and was selected as the 9th overall pick in the 1952 NFL Draft by the San Francisco 49ers. He played in San Francisco from 1952 to 1960 and was a member of the $1 Million Backfield, another great nickname.
Yeah.
That also featured quarterback Y.A. Tittle, running back Joe Perry, and running back John Henry Johnson.
Man,
Bunch of great names.
That was an awesome backfield.
Bunch of great names, and what a great nickname for that backfield. He went on to play for the Minnesota Vikings in 1961 and 1962, the Giants of New York in 1963, and then the Detroit Lions in 1964. Mcilhenny was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1970 and the College Football Hall of Fame in 1981.
Yeah, not only did Hugh Mcilhenny go on to play for the Lions briefly, but his teammate John Henry Johnson also played for Detroit towards the end of his career. So 2 former members of the $1 Million Backfield wound up playing with the Lions. Not that it helped them any, but they did both play for the Lions late in their career. All right. Anything else before we move on to this week's history lesson?
Not as of right now. No updates, no breaking news. I think you're in the clear to tell us about some dude who created the Nerf football.
Yes. This week's history lesson, we're going to tell you about Minnesota Vikings kicker Fred Cox, who is the inventor of the Nerf football.
I played with one of those as a kid.
Everybody did. The first football that many kids ever had was a Nerf football, as opposed to a regulation football. They are lighter, easier to grip, and easier to throw. But did you know that an NFL player actually had a hand in developing the Nerf football? Kicker Fred Cox played college football at Pittsburgh. He was a fullback and a straight-on kicker. He was so good that he was drafted twice. He was selected in the 8th round of the 1961 NFL Draft by the Cleveland Browns, as well as the 28th round of the American Football League Draft by the New York Titans. He chose to sign with the Browns, who intended to have him block for Jim Brown, but a back injury caused Cox to concentrate on being just a kicker. The Browns already had a future Hall of Fame kicker by the name of Lou the Toe Groza, so he did not make the team. He was traded to the Minnesota Vikings in 1962, but did not make the team either. He finally broke into the Vikings roster in 1963 and spent his entire 15-year NFL career with the Vikings from 1963 to 1977. He never missed a game. Cox played in 4 Super Bowls with the Vikings, all losses. When he retired as a player, he was the Vikings' all-time leading scorer with 1,365 points. In 1971, while playing for the Vikings, Cox was approached by a local entrepreneur named John Maddox, who had an idea for a backyard field goal kicking game for kids using plastic goalposts. Maddox intended to use a heavy football, but Cox suggested that a lightweight foam rubber football would be much better for young kids to play with. Cox contacted a friend in the injection molding business who created a prototype foam rubber football, which he and Maddox took to the Parker Brothers Toy Company. They loved it. The Nerf football hit store shelves in 1972, and the rest is history. Cox received quarterly royalty checks for the rest of his life until he died in 2019 at the age of 80. Where would the youth of today be if they had not grown up playing with a Nerf football? Not only did the Nerf football make it easier for kids to hold and throw, it led to a love of the game and developed generations of football fans in the process. A world without a Nerf football is a world I would not want to live in. By the way, Nerf is actually an acronym. It stands for Non-Expanding Recreational Foam.
You know, after 250 episodes, it's about time you got to the stories that we all care about, and that is, of course, the story I've been waiting 250 weeks for, which is the story of how the Nerf football, came to be.
I bet I could go out to the garage right now and find a few Nerf footballs.
You probably could.
Thrown around in the corners.
You could probably find one in this very office somewhere.
Yeah, probably.
You probably got one buried underneath one of your boxes somewhere.
And I grew up in before the Nerf football because they hit shelves in '72, but every kid since then has had a Nerf football.
It's like a beach staple. You go to the beach, somebody's got a Nerf football. You go to a hippie music festival, somebody's got a Nerf football. You go to Electric Forest or you go to Woodstock, somebody's got a Nerf football. You go to a tailgate at your local college football game, Nerf football. You go to the tailgate of your local NFL game, Nerf football.
And they've branched out into so many other things now. Now they've got
like the Nerf airsoft gun things.
Yeah, but I mean they've got footballs that they're like twisted
and
swirled.
They got all these different designs. Ones with a long tail on it, so you can throw it farther.
Yeah. And they got other ones with a blunt front that you could throw against a wall. And it's got it's like half a football.
Yeah.
And so there's just all kinds. And
it's an empire, man.
From what I understand, the company normally they went to Parker Brothers to get this thing marketed, and normally the contract is like they give you royalties for maybe 5 years, or there's like an end date, and they didn't think this thing was going to sell that great, so they'd never put an end date on it.
Oof.
And it became such a popular thing that until the man passed away in 2019, he was still getting quarterly royalty checks from Nerf Football.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, great great thing for him.
I hope he's able to somehow pass that down to his kids, because that money is going to be forever, because everybody buys it. You buy your kid their first football, like you said, is a Nerf football. There will always be
There will always be a Nerf football
teams
on the market.
Professional teams buy Nerf footballs in bulk just to, for promotional giveaways. Yep. So, come on now. What a genius idea.
Yep. Okay, let's move on to the upcoming events calendar. This Sunday, July 3rd.
Sunday.
The USFL Championship game in Canton, Ohio.
We'll be there.
Yep. We will definitely be there. We'll be visiting the Pro Football Hall of Fame for a few hours before we go right next door and watch the game. So that should be pretty good. I already checked out the weather. Doesn't look like it's going to be raining at all. Highs in the 80s, lows in the 60s overnight.
I'm hoping for a nice crowd, borderline sellout crowd. It'd be great to be in that. I've always wanted to go to Fawcett Stadium.
Yeah, we've never seen a game.
I wanted my
there.
first time to be a Lions, a Hall of Fame game there.
Hall of Fame game, yep.
USFL Championship,
Sure.
All right, sure,
yeah.
And after we only were able to go to one AAF game before they folded. Couldn't go to the XFL when they were around. We're just fingers crossed. We were hoping to get to a USFL game this year, and luckily, when they announced that move to Canton, we figured we'd be there. But Randy made us sweat till the last minute, till he got those tickets.
Yeah. Well, I'm a procrastinator. You know that.
I do know that.
But I did get tickets. They're on my phone. They're all ready to go. And,
don't tell people that. Now your phone's gonna get hacked, and our $20 tickets are gonna get stolen. God, you're so dumb sometimes.
My bad. Okay, let's see what else we got here on the upcoming events calendar. Thursday, August 4th, the Pro Football Hall of Fame game at that very same stadium.
That's going to be here right before we know it. Oh, my goodness.
The Jacksonville.
And that Major League Football League's supposed to start up around
the 9th.
The 9th?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that is your next thing. I was like, how can you just start up a spring league right after the NFL starts up?
Technically, I'd say it's not a spring league
Not anymore,
now.
but
that's what it was intended to be. For whatever reason,
silly move.
Don't know how many games they're going to have in the season. That's why I was looking for their schedule. I was going to say who was going to be playing in that first game. Only 4 teams. They might have 2 games that day or that night. I don't know. Can't find it anywhere. So we'll see.
If it even happens.
Yeah. But August 4th, the Hall of Fame game in Canton, Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Tuesday the 9th, a few days later, you'll probably still see the Hall of Fame logo on the field when the Major League Football teams take the field, whoever that's going to be. And then Thursday, September 8th, the NFL regular season kicks off.
Cooks up?
It's going to be the
Somebody's
Buffalo
got food
Bills
on the brain.
At the LA Rams. That is a game that I think the whole country is looking forward to.
What a way to start off the season. I mean, last year, seeing the Bucks and Cowboys start off last year was a heck of a way to start the season off. I think this is one to start the season off. I don't know where these two teams will go the rest of the year, but I like this tradition of the Super Bowl champion hosting a game,
right?
To start the season, and the Buffalo Bills coulda, shoulda, maybe would have been.
That was the best game of the postseason, I think.
The Bills and Chiefs,
yeah.
But the Bills shoulda, coulda, woulda been. I think they could have been the Super Bowl champs had they made it to that game.
In a game that they had to change the overtime rules for.
Yeah, eventually changed the overtime rules again.
Yeah.
So, looking forward to this. Josh Allen versus Matt Stafford. I'm looking forward to it.
Yep. Week 1, we're going to find out who's ready to play this year. All right. Anything else?
Nope. No breaking news. So we are all good to wrap this puppy up.
All right. Well, that's all the time we've got for this week. If you learned something during this podcast about the incredible amount of diversity that exists in the world of football, then we've done our job. Visit our website at theworldoffootball.com for news, links, upcoming events, videos, and more. Our email address is info@theworldoffootball.com.
You can go like The World of Football on Facebook. That's facebook.com/TWOF Kalamazoo. You can also follow our Twitter account where we post a lot of great news stories and such. The address there is @TWOF Kalamazoo. New episodes of this very podcast that we've been posting for 250 weeks now. Minus the 4-week hiatus or whatever it was we went on.
5-week.
5-week hiatus we went on. These episodes are posted every Tuesday and are available on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and YouTube. Our YouTube channel is The World of Football Kalamazoo, so do a search for that there and follow and subscribe and all that and like some videos because you may or may not see some content from us on that YouTube channel before our next podcast pertaining to our trip to the USFL Championship game. I'm gonna be trying my darndest to make sure that we get as much content out of this trip as we can. So please subscribe, rate, review, give us a like, leave us a comment anywhere. Let us know what you think, and please come be a part of the football conversation. We're very excited to have those.
You know, we could get some videos by the Hall of Fame busts of some of the people we've done history lessons about.
You mean you could? Well, you've done history lessons.
Yeah, you could take pictures of me by the busts of people that I've done history lessons.
Yeah, we'll see. We shall see.
And remember, folks, some people may love football more than we do, but nobody, and I mean nobody, loves more football than the two of us. Until next time, I'm Randy Snow.
And I'm Adam Snow.
And we'll see you all next week.